Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm scrapbooking a photo of my husband and I and our charcuterie board. So I've got those photos. I've also got this stencil right here. This is escaping me, the name of it, but I will have it listed down below. I'm going to play with the Flower Market paper pad, and then I've got some Aqua Pigments. So let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I am starting out with a sheet of watercolor paper, and that way the Aqua Pigments will take really nicely onto the paper. So I sprayed it with water, and I'm also using a fan brush dipped in water. So my brush is definitely wet. It is not a dry brush. I'm just not doing any real kind of technique here other than placing color down on my paper. As you can see, I am applying the Aqua Pigment directly onto the paper, and then I'm going to overlap a little bit, just ever so slightly, where the two colors join up. That way I'll get a tiny little bit of blend. And then as you can see, I pulled that green in through the yellow, and that just changed the color ever so slightly. So now I'm gonna do the same thing here with this color. Again, I'm just using that really wet fan brush. I'm doing long strokes because I don't want a lot of brush strokes in the center of the paper where I'm doing it. I want the brush strokes to end at the ends, if that makes sense. So again, doing this last color, blending it ever so slightly, and I mean ever so slightly, so much so you might look at this and go, I don't think that's blended at all. But I promise you it is. So now that's gonna set aside so I can dry it, and I'm going to take these two photos. One is my husband and I, and then one is a scenery photo. I think it might be a charcuterie box. I don't remember what that photo is, and my paper is covering it up. So I'm going to double matte my photos. One is going to be a darker matte. It's going to go all the way around the photo, and it's going to have just a slight matte. And then I'm going to double matte that on top of the second paper, and it's going to be a larger matte. Now, all of the 6x6 papers that I'm using are coming from the Flower Market paper collection. It is a double-sided paper collection. You can kind of see some of them as I am flipping through there. So I wanted that green color as my tiny matte. So I have it here. Oh yeah, wines and charcuterie. Okay, so that's what that is. It's the tablescape. So now I'm going to place down the photos, and I'm liking this. I'm liking the thicker matte. Obviously, my photos are cut down. They were 4x6 photos, but I did trim them down because I wanted to use those 6x6 paper pads. So you can always trim a 4x6 photo down to 4 by 5.5 or 4 by 3.25, and then use a 6x6 piece of paper as a mat. Of course, if this is a one-of-a-kind photo or you're cutting off something important in the photo, you're not going to want to be able to do this. But these are not one-of-a-kind photos. I have multiple of probably almost these exact photos, so I'm not concerned. I am going to overlap the photos together and kind of treat them as one large photo mat. And then I'm trying to figure out which way I want the paper to go. If I want the purple on the left and the green on the right, or if I want the green on the left. Now, ultimately, I decided to go with the green on the left. I go ahead and pull out my stencil, and I'm like, yes, this is going to be fantastic. So I'm just going to use some white modeling paste and put that through my stencil. Now, I'm not going to do a super thick coating of modeling paste through my stencil, but it is going to be decent, right? There's going to be a little bit of weight through this. So when I'm putting the modeling paste through the stencil, you can see the stencil underneath, right? Like I'm not doing such a thick globby coat that you can't see the stencil. When you pull the stencil up, you've got a layer all over your stencil as well. Now you could do that. You would definitely want to do that if you want your white to stay like a stark white or whatever color modeling paste you're using. Then you can see I pulled that up and I'm going to flip it around and add the flowers on the other side as well. Now I could have gone ahead and did this technique over the entire layout, but I think that just placing it over the two colors like this gives it a little bit more drama, and drama in the good way, not like 6th grade girl gym drama, like drama in a good way. So I'm just going to wrap that up and peel that stencil back, and then you will see the full goodness here in a moment. I do love a good stencil reveal, guys. Like it sings to my soul and makes my heart happy. So I'm going to put away the modeling paste. Always put your lids back on as soon as you possibly can, because you don't want to have your product dry out before you use it. And also, use your product. Don't open it, use it once, and think you're going to save it. So things like Aqua Pigments, Velveteen Glaze, Glitter Glaze, Chroma Glaze, Chroma Mist, modeling paste. All of these things are consumable mediums, guys. Consumable. That means you use it up. You use it up so you can buy more, right? No matter what, they're water-based products. They will eventually dry out. So use them before they dry out. That way you get the joy of using it, you get the joy of it being on your paper, and then you don't have to be upset because you have to buy more product because product went bad. You can be happy that you're buying more product because you use the product, right? Like that's my thought process anyway. So now I'm just going to add a few stickers from my stash. I felt like this title wasn't enough. Like today was not a good enough title. I needed to add in some other words. So I went back to my stash and got a couple more letter stickers to actually create a full title instead of just a one-word title. Now, do you need a full title every time? No. Can you do a one-word title? Yes. Can you do a page without a title whatsoever? You bet your sweet bippy you can. Like, do what you want, do what makes you happy. But definitely use the products because it drying out makes nobody happy. So once I get these letter stickers onto the layout, that will do it for this layout. It is all done. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'd be happy to chat with you, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.